We got a potential Gaza ceasefire in the works. 60-day ceasefire. Second time about a ceasefire in Gaza. So we know that like Donald Trump's been trying to work on a ceasefire in Gaza for the past, I don't know, how many months has it been? Like 2-3 months, I want to say 2-3 months, I think. Right? He's been like in talks with Hamas, and he's been having like some troubles, obviously, with that ceasefire in particular because Benjamin Netanyahu keeps bombing the fuck out of Gaza, and it's been making talks particularly difficult. Right? We all know like the helicopter interview Trump had, where he's just like, I've had enough of Benjamin Netanyahu's shit. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He swore. He got mad. Like he was really really mad. And again, I've talked about this before, right? Like a lot of people really do not like Benjamin Netanyahu, generally speaking, because he's like a complete like belligerent asshole within the region, and he just makes things unstable for literally no reason. Like every like president in the 21st century has talked about how much they do not like Benjamin Netanyahu. I guess except Biden maybe. But then again, that's because like I don't know, Biden's like a complete simpering, doddering old man. So whatever. Like Bush has talked shit about him. Obama's talked shit about him. Now Trump's has talked shit about him publicly. At least with the other two, they talked about him privately. I think even Clinton's like talked shit about him, saying like, yeah, this guy is just like completely impossible to work with. Like, God, this guy's a fucking moron. And as expected from my Holocaust revisionist like Benjamin Netanyahu, who thinks that Hitler got the idea to do the Holocaust from the Palestinian Grand Mufti when he visited the Palestinian Grand Mufti, which is just like delusional, stupid. Anyone who has like a half an idea about like history like knows that this is not the case. That this has always been a sort of ideological goal from Hitler that has been like fomented since his youth. So it's silly, it's stupid. Or maybe not to do the final solution in of itself, the actual fucking Holocaust, right? But the sort of like otherizing and discriminatory sort of practices, the apartheid on Jewish people, right? Which was a part of the Holocaust, right? Because initially, what did he want to do? He just wanted to deport them and get rid of them. The only reason why he decided to go ahead with the gas chambers was because the Soviet Union was starting to push in from the east, and they were just like, well, we can't like move all these guys, and they can't. No one should be able to see like what we've been doing to these people is basically just using them as like slave labor. We should just kill them with not bullets, but with a bunch of gas because it's going to be easier to do it that way. There's a very TLDR version of the history there, very very TLDR. But apparently, like Benjamin Netanyahu thinks it was the Palestinian Grand Mufti that came up with that idea. No, it was not him that came up with that idea. It's complete revision of history. But what do we have here? Unscheduled top talks come as Trump's Middle East envoy said Israel and Hamas were closing their differences on a truce deal. Well, there was, again, like we talked about this before, there's been ceasefire deals in place before. This motherfucker violated it every single time, right? There was the more recent one, which was about, I think, a month. It got like violated within like 2 days or something. So whatever, it's complete nonsense. Like Benjamin Netanyahu is only just out for Palestinian blood. Like nothing else really matters to this guy besides the murder of like Palestinian children, because I don't know, he's just like an awful demonic person. So what we got here? Because he paid a recent visit, right? He made a little visit. What we got here? United States President Donald Trump has met Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House for a second time in 24 hours to discuss a possible ceasefire deal in Gaza. The unscheduled talks on Tuesday evening lasted just over an hour, with no media access, and came as Israeli forces killed at least 75 Palestinians in Gaza. Yeah, because the current thing that's happening right now in Gaza is with the Gaza Humanitarian Fund, right? Basically just using it as like a honeypot. Every single like human rights organization within the UN, independent organizations have been saying like, this is completely like fraudulent bullshit fucking behavior. This is nonsense. Like, what the fuck is going on with this like agency? None of them are like adhering to like any of the norms or rules whatsoever. This is a honeypot shit. And So far, from what I've seen, like they've been like shooting at Palestinians trying to go to their aid centers, right? Like, I'm pretty sure there's like videos about this, right? GHF, U.S. contractors shooting at Palestinians. That's not how you spell Palestinians. U.S. contractors say their colleagues are firing live ammo at Palestinians. What do we have here? And there's like, you can hear like, yeah, shots being fired in the background. Like, look at this shit, dude. This is fucking crazy.
Testimonies and videos obtained by the Associated Press show American contractors guarding aid distribution sites inside Gaza are using live ammunition and stun grenades as hungry Palestinians scramble for food. 2 U.S. contractors who spoke to us on the condition of anonymity because they were revealing their employer's internal operations said they were coming out because they were disturbed by what they saw as dangerous and irresponsible practices. Both have extensive military experience. They say the security staff on...
Like, I think literally you can even hear one of them say, like, I think I hit one, right? I think there's like a... Where's the short video for this? I think it's like this one right here. This is fucking wild, bro. What the fuck? Man, are you people for real? Yeah, dude, I wonder why the ceasefire talks have not been really going well, or like really going much of anywhere. I can't think of like anything in particular. You're just like drawing in a bunch of Palestinians who are hungry and desperate for aid because they've been under siege for like the past few months, unable to get like any food whatsoever, and you're just like letting them come in like cattle so you can shoot at them with fucking guns, dude. Like, that's fucking wild, bro. And you're like hooting and hollering because you like shot a bunch of like defenseless, hungry civilians. Get the hell out of here with this bullshit, bro. Just actually fucking crazy, dude. Yeah, people are just getting shot at aid sites, which is illegal. Again, keep in mind, these are all just, defenseless, hungry people? Like women, children, like emaciated men as well, just going in, trying to get some food. And this isn't like the only thing that they've done. Like, they've like even poisoned like the flour supplies. Like, they've snuck in a bunch of like oxy within the food supplies, right? Israel... putting oxy in the flour supplies, right? This isn't the only thing that they did. Like, they put in a bunch of fucking Oxycontin, which is fucking crazy. Like, look at this shit. Look at this. Gaza authorities say drugs found inside U.S. dispatched flour bags. Wonder why there's a bunch of oxy in there, huh? Little weird. Now, there's no evidence if it's like 100% saying if it's the Israelis that are doing this or if it's GHF that's doing this, the military contractors. Who the hell really knows? Let's be honest here. Kind of weird that a bunch of drugs, synthetic drugs, are being put in these like flour bags for these like desperate, poor, hungry people to sort of, to sort of like ingest and like poison themselves in. That's cool. That's great. Fantastic. So, I mean, that's what's currently up. That's what's going on currently in Gaza, mostly. So, the two men had also met for several hours during a dinner at the White House on Monday, during Netanyahu's third visit to the U.S. since the president began his second term on January 20th. Technically speaking, he should be arresting him, but, I guess they don't. Who cares about the international law and the ICC warrants? Nah, who cares about any of that? Ahead of the talks on Tuesday, Trump said he would be speaking with Netanyahu almost exclusively about Gaza. We got to get that solved. Gaza it's a tragedy, and he wants to get it solved, and I want to get it solved, and I think the other side wants it too. he said. Al Jazeera's Mike Hanna, reporting from Washington, D.C., said very little information has come out from the latest talks, so it has been difficult to ascertain exactly what's going on. Yeah, it's been mostly like private meetings that they've been having, right? For example, yeah, it's mostly just been like a bunch of private meetings. So that's cool. That's great, fantastic. But the fact that it has been so hermetically sealed, the fact that there has been no clear readout of what was discussed, the fact that the meeting lasted just over an hour, all of it may indicate that there's some kind of stumbling block. That's not a bad, I don't think that's a terrible assertion to make, because we all know, like, the sort of like main belligerent here, the main cause of the problems here, it's Benjamin Netanyahu and the sort of like wartime cabinet that he has established, right? We all know why he's doing this. In 2022, he's got a bunch of corruption charges swirling around him, and he's got an indictment against him coming down on him from the Israeli Supreme Court, right? This has been litigated. Like, he's probably going to go to jail because of this, because there's a lot of evidence to suggest, like, yeah, Benjamin Netanyahu more than likely accepted corrupt bribes and deals, which is against the law, So, as a result, and this coincided, luckily for Benjamin Netanyahu, quite literally, he got into power during, I believe, around 2022, right? He got into power, and he was able to stave off the current Supreme Court not court order, but like the sort of like the current like legal authorities that are looking to come after him because of his like corruption charges, because more than likely he's going to go to jail, like probably, and he wants to try to not go to jail for as long as possible. So he assembled the wartime cabinet, started all the bombings, started like raising tensions in the sort of region in order to make sure that he is in as power for as long as possible, because again, his political coalition is very, very unstable. Like, not that long ago, there was a recent vote within the Knesset that only passed by about 2 votes, and that vote didn't pass, it would have caused a collapse of the Netanyahu government. As a result of that collapse, there would have been elections that Netanyahu more than likely would have lost, because he's currently very unpopular. Very, very, very unpopular. So, if he loses those elections, guess what happens? His ass is more than likely going to go to jail. And his ass doesn't want to go in jail for as long as possible. He wants to basically die in office. Let's be quite honest here. That is why he's trying to maintain the war council for as long as possible. So, we all know the sort of like main crux of the issue here. It's Benjamin Netanyahu. He's the one who's constantly escalating the conflict and making everything worse, because again, he wants to do everything possible in order to maintain the war council for as long as possible, so then he doesn't go to jail. That's what happens. This is why he's like bombing like seemingly 5 different people at once. He's bombed Hezbollah, he's bombed Lebanon, he's bombed Syria. He's currently bombing like the south parts of Syria. He's bombing the Houthis. That's why he decided to go on the bombing campaign also with the Iranians as well. The 12-day war, So that's cool. Right, so he's like bombing a bunch of different places, bombing a bunch of different people, because again, he doesn't want to sort of like let go of his like very, very sort of he doesn't want to let go of his like political position, because again, he knows that he's basically cooked in the polls. He's going to be cooked electorally, and he's probably going to be cooked legally. So he wants to stay in power for as long as possible to make sure that doesn't happen. Something that is clouding the optimistic position that the two leaders have adopted over the past 24 hours, Hanna said. Shortly before Trump met Netanyahu, special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, suggested a ceasefire deal in Gaza is close and said Washington hopes to see an agreement finalized by the end of the week. Well, hopefully, Again, like, if there is, like, a ceasefire deal, so I believe this one would be for about 60 days, right? For all the rest of the hostages to get, like, to basically come out, a cessation of hostilities for about 60 days, and for the allowance of a bunch of humanitarian aid by the UN to come in as well into Gaza to help alleviate the current siege that's happening within Gaza. That's like the sort of like, I believe, the main tenets that currently are on the table for the deal. So, I mean, is this going to be like resolved, figured out? Is something going to happen here? I mean, at this point, it's pretty much purely up to Benjamin Netanyahu. And even if there is, say, like a deal that goes into place, it's not like Netanyahu won't just sort of go back on that deal, because he has a history of doing that already, where he just like bombs the shit out of people because he's like, fuck it, whatever. Because all he cares about is just, I don't know, for lack of a better term, turning a bunch of Palestinian children into mulch, because the point of it is like ethnic displacement and ethnic cleansing, right? He said the issues keeping Israel and Hamas from agreeing had now dropped to 1 from 4. Wait, had dropped from to 1 from 4. Okay. We are hopeful that by the end of this week, we'll have an agreement that will bring us into a 60-day ceasefire. 10 live hostages will be released. 9 deceased will be released, Witkoff told reporters at a meeting of Trump's cabinet. But Netanyahu, speaking shortly afterwards during a meeting with the Speaker of the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, said Israel's campaign in the Palestinian enclave was not done and that negotiators are certainly working on a ceasefire. Okay. We'll have an agreement that will bring us into a 60-day... Yeah, okay. Sure, yeah, they're still finalizing the deal. All right, sure. We still have to finish the job in Gaza, whatever that means. It's purposely ambiguous because, again, what Netanyahu really wants is to ethnically cleanse the Palestinians out of Gaza. He wants to either force them all out or kill all of them. Doesn't really matter which one. Release all of our hostages, eliminate and destroy Hamas's military and government capabilities, the Israeli leader said. Sure, man. Totally. Al Jazeera's Noor Odeh, reporting from Jordan, said Israeli media claim Netanyahu is facing extreme pressure from Trump to reach a deal on Gaza. Yeah, because again, like, everything that Trump has been trying to do in order to be like, I'm a deal maker, folks. Let me tell you, I love making deals. I love wheeling. I love dealing. I love feeling. I love feeling good, folks. And has been constantly sort of facing problems due to Benjamin Netanyahu. Let's be honest here. That's why he's probably particularly pissed with Netanyahu, because it's just like, dude, you're trying to cripple my style. I'm trying to get deals so I could talk and be like this really, really good statesman to the American people. Just tell them I'm so good at this. I'm such a good president, folks. And you're making this really difficult for me, Benjamin. Benjamin, we could just stop sending you arms. We could do that. Okay. Honestly, I'm just kind of going off of like hyperbole and I'm just like kind of saying stuff here. Like, let's be honest here. I don't know if he's actually saying that. He might be saying that. I highly doubt he's fucking saying that. But that's kind of the main reason, maybe, in terms of like what extreme pressure could mean here from Trump. Maybe that like Benjamin Netanyahu may finally be forced to see a deal. Hey, Democrats, you could learn something here, right? Like, hey, leverage and saying like, we're gonna take away all of your ability to have our arms is effective. Oh yeah, I have no doubt that Trump is probably in the files. Like we talked about that shit, the like really weak cover stories and cover job that the Trump administration's trying to do with that shit. It's just like, dude, like, you're just saying the shit that you're saying because he's in the files, bro. Like, he's definitely in the files. That's not even a shadow of a doubt. But still, there's been no breakthrough, she said from the Jordanian capital, Amman. Israeli media is also talking about a delay in the travel plans of Witkoff to Doha, although earlier in the night he sounded very optimistic about possibly reaching a deal, because according to him, only one issue remained problematic, which is where will the Israeli army redeploy to? What? Nah, this is some fucking cope, dude. What do you mean redeploy to? What the fuck does that mean? Like, you just put them back in reserve? Are you people... Okay, whatever. It's just like a fucking excuse, man. Now, this is important because Israel wants to maintain control over the city of Rafah in southern Gaza. According to the Israeli Minister of Defense, Israel plans to build a tent city in Rafah, where it will concentrate the Palestinians, or the population, the Palestinians. I wonder why they want to build the tent city and relocate a bunch of Palestinians to that tent city. I couldn't possibly think of anything else. Listen, there's totally no intention here to ethnically cleanse the Palestinians from their, homes within Gaza. Clearly, that's not what they're trying to do at all within Israel, with the express purpose of eventually just kicking them all out into Egypt, which Egypt is not going to accept, like, what? Over a million fucking Palestinians into their borders. Like, they're not going to do that. It's like, bro, fuck that. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Control who enters, not allow anyone to leave, and then push the population out of Gaza to implement, according to the Israelis, the Trump plan of depopulating Gaza and taking over the enclave. Trump Gaza, number one. We're gonna do Trump Gaza. It's lovely beachfront property, folks. Let me tell you, it's beautiful. It looks great, folks. It's very nice. It's premium resort territory. And we can make so much. We can have the Palestinians come in back into their homes and be nice little servants. No, they can go back to their homes within Gaza once we remake Trump Gaza. Number one, folks. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. That's honestly the main reason here. Let's be honest here. He wants like a golden city to sort of like show off his, like, I don't know, projection of his power and his opulence as like an express purpose of making it like another billionaire like playground UAE style type thing. Like that's the reason why he wants to do this. We've all seen like the Trump Gaza like dumbass music video thing. Like it's goofy. The express purpose is like to ethnically cleanse the Palestinians and also just like basically make them like an underclass, permanent underclass that serves well the billionaires and well the Israelis that go into the sort of like resort town. The plan outlined by Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz calls for the initial forcible transfer of some 600,000 Palestinians to the tent city, followed by the remainder of the enclave, 2.1 million people. I love how they're just out and about and open about it, saying like, yeah, we're just gonna forcibly displace these people. We're just doing ethnic cleansing, dude. Yeah. That's the plan. That's what we're doing. Yeah. What? You didn't get the memo? You had no idea? Like, what the heck? Like, what do you mean? This is what we were always gonna do. Fantastic. Critics say the plan would lead to Palestinians being forcibly transferred to other countries. Oh, you don't say, huh? Color me surprised. Anel Shalin, a research fellow in the Middle East program at the Quincy Institute, described the tent cities as concentration camps. I think that's, I've said this before. Modern Holocaust of our time. And said the Trump administration is unlikely to intervene in the Israeli plan. Oh, great, fantastic. That the U.S. are going to be facilitating. Washington has significant influence over the details, although we did see Trump demur when asked if he would support the transfer of the involuntary transfer of Palestinians out of Gaza, saying that people should look to Netanyahu for that. Celine said. Honestly, okay, let's be honest here. Like, are people really going to be wanting to go along with all this shit? Like, this, like, sort of ethnic cleansing, like, building of, like, a fucking Holocaust? No one's gonna fucking want to stand for this shit. Let's be honest here. No, given, like, how online, how easy it is, like, for everything to be filmed, like, this shit would be, like, totally caught out, filmed, reported on, and it's gonna spark like even more like worldwide fucking outrage and make Israel more of a pariah state, and I guess even the US or like the sort of like suicide pact at this point that the Israelis and the United States kind of has with each other to sort of, I don't know, go down in the flames of hell and just like be like, yeah, we're totally okay with like ethnic cleansing. We don't give a shit about any of that stuff. Very, very cool. Very good. We love that. We love that, folks. We love doing a little bit of ethnic cleansing, folks. Let me tell you. We know the people Trump surrounds himself with tend to be sycophants and people who tell him what he likes to hear. So I don't anticipate there are many people in Trump's orbit who are going to tell you not only would this be a horrific crime against humanity to not only facilitate genocide, but then transfer the survivors outside of their land, she said, adding that all of it also does implicate the United States. Yeah. For his part, Trump has strongly supported Netanyahu, even wading into domestic Israeli politics by criticizing prosecutors over a corruption trial against the Israeli leader on bribery. Yeah, again, the main reason why Netanyahu's doing any of this shit is he just don't want to go to jail. It literally just bro like risked World War III to just not go to jail. It's actually incredible. Fraud and breach of trust charges, which Netanyahu denies. Netanyahu has meanwhile praised Trump, saying that there has never been a closer coordination between the U.S. and Israel in his country's history, and even nominated the U.S. leader for the Nobel Peace Prize. Oh, I'm sure. Israel's war in Gaza has killed at least 57,575 Palestinians. It's more than likely more. And wounded 136,879 others. Most of Gaza's population has been displaced by the war, and nearly 500,000 people are facing famine within months, according to United Nations estimates. An estimated 1,139 people were killed in Israel during the Hamas-led attacks on October 7th, and there were more than 200 taken captive. Some 50 captives remain in Gaza, 20 of which are believed to be alive. So that's cool. That's great. Fantastic.